Hazel, there's no good way to ask this question. Your son passed away after something that every single parent has done, and that, of course, is bring their child to the emergency room. Can you even begin to describe for us hearing that news that your son couldn't be saved?
It didn't feel real. It was a living nightmare. The shock, it's just disbelief. I don't know that I can put it into words. Mm-hmm. It's too much for the mind. It's too much for the body.
Mm-hmm. And again, our deepest condolences, Hazel. We don't at all think this is an easy thing to chat about. No. And I think you're very brave for speaking the way you are. And obviously that's what you're doing now is you're trying to turn what happened to Finlay into something good and to make the system better for others, especially other children. Can you talk about that? Finlay's Law is your goal. What are you hoping to do, you and your family?
Well, we started Finlay's Voice because he didn't get that voice when he needed it. And we do have Finlay's Law. And Finlay's Law is really just the start of tackling reform that needs to happen within the emergency departments. Everybody knows how bad and how long the wait times are. But yet we seem to be complacent because nothing has changed. And this is not a problem that has just started in the last few years or even COVID time. This is something that has been progressively getting worse. Mm-hmm. And for us as Finlay's parents, it doesn't even feel like a choice. It feels like we have a responsibility to help with that change and to help make sure that things are reformed and things are done.
So Hazel, if I can ask you, what would that look like from your perspective? What would the maximum time be, for example?
Oh, that's $1 million question. I mean, for me, I'd say immediately, but mm-hmm. We have to be realistic. What that number looks like, I think, involves having a lot of conversation around. It will depend on the severity. These triage levels have to mean something. Mm-hmm. Why do we have standards? Why do we have this and have had it since 1999? And we don't comply with it. So we have to look at the levels and really be realistic of how quickly does a child is very different from an adult and is much more vulnerable. And we need to take that into consideration.
Have you had a chance to speak with anyone in the Ford government?
I spoke with a couple of local MPPs here. And we have been reaching out to the Ministry of Health, and we now actually have an appointment to sit down with Sylvia Jones and to discuss Finlay's Law and everything that really is happening.
Well, that's a big progression. She's the health minister, just for those who don't know. When is that going to be, Hazel? Do you know?
23rd of October, okay. I believe.
So you have a date set. I'm sure you'll be well prepared for that. You've also called for a coroner's inquest. Has there been any progress on that? And I guess it's an obvious question, but what do you hope an inquest would accomplish?
So to answer your first question, we have not heard back other than that they are considering. So I think they get 60 days to come back mm-hmm. and give an answer for a yes or no. So we're still waiting. Mm-hmm. As to what we hope to achieve is really that an in-depth investigation is carried out within the medical profession to look at what happened and what needs to be changed and reformed.
And obviously, that's also part of the reason why you and your family have filed a lawsuit against Halton Healthcare, which runs the hospital. This, I'm assuming, is a difficult decision to come to file a lawsuit like that. Same question, I think, Hazel. What's the goal of the lawsuit?
The goal is it's justice. It's accountability for what happened, that night, and what continues to be the repercussions of that in our lives, for us as a family, for the grandparents, for everybody who knew and loved Finlay.
Absolutely.
Hazel, the hospital has filed a statement of defense denying any wrongdoing and saying hospital staff provided, quote, reasonable care to your son. I know when these statements of defense are filed, there's cautionary language and legal ways to write things that they have to. But when you read a statement like that, reasonable care, what was it like for you to see those words and to read that?
Devastating. I remember reading them and being shocked and disappointed and so angry. And knowing that this is, of course, legal language, but it doesn't hit that way. We live this every day and every minute of every day, and certainly there was no reasonable care taken.
Obviously, you're doing this for the good of so many others, people you've never even met. You're trying to fight for change in the system, but it's a heavy burden, I can imagine, Hazel, for you to carry, even having conversations like this, having to repeat again what you and your family have gone through. What keeps you going as you try to hold that burden?
Well, firstly, thank you for recognizing that, because it is hard. It's, if we have the possibility to ensure that another family does not have to go through this, then that will give us a little bit of a feeling of comfort that we've done something and that we used our voices for something good to come out of something that is so tragic.